So you guys were I'm hearing a lot of you guys wanted a theme song shortened, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that, and when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So, it's shorter. There you go. Crazycatlady or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair educational for and entertainment purpose.
Hi everyone, Martha here. The episode I've watched on House of Dragons season 1 of episode 1. So we find out this takes place about 175 years before Mad King came king. And so this is we're watching the ancestors of the mother of dragons here. We have Rosalia, the princess, and her mom, who's pregnant, and her dad, who's king now. So I'm gonna try my best to say these names, and I have a hard time saying. So let me go to Google. So Damien, I remember. So sadly, what I have to say in this episode is that the princess gets named as heir in this because of her uncle was a bad uncle. Apparently, because the queen ends up dying after a very bad childbirth, and they had to get a C-section done back then, and that would suck because no way to numb what happened. So, and the baby still dies. So both the baby and the queen dies, and he would have been so. But instead of being there for his brother, who was already Damien was already being a bad night walk. He was like the one decides like how to take care of the criminals. He didn't like what the council was not like what he was doing, because the fact that he went to go and kill some people who I guess were criminals, and how he was behaving during the thing that happens in Knight's Tale, galloping or jolting. They didn't like how he's behaving during that either. And so since he said that to my his nephew who died, like salutes him and then like celebrating that he's now gonna be heir because his nephew died and his the queen died. So as punishment, he's lost heir, and now the princess is gonna be heir. But the thing is, something's gonna have to happen, because Cersei's supposed to be the first queen, isn't she? Because that's what they said. So I don't know. I'll find out. Don't say. So I'll be back when when that's done. So far I have watched between episode 2 and I think part of episode 7. So I'm not gonna try to. So episode 2. So far this show jumps around a lot so far. Because episode 2, 3 years goes by, and he goes during this show, and it keeps the same actress for Rosella, I think her name is, and the king keeps the same actress during the show so far, but the princess changes actresses when after she gets married to her own cousin. So how is it okay for her to marry her cousin during that time period? I know this is a way far back, so they didn't treat cousins the same, but I guess they're not, I think, like distant cousins. It's still gross, okay? The fact that you recall saying that because right, Rosella goes to meet her uncle because she her uncle loses his inheritance. Like I said last time, that he loses his inheritance because of what he said about his nephew that passed away. So he got his niece got it instead. So when he marries her friend, the king's hand, who ends up leaving, stop being the king's hand, after he tries to make the princess beats inherited Rosella, because she snuck into like the castle, play like little Jasmine from Aladdin, and like want to see how the subjects get treated. That's what it reminded me of Aladdin. It reminded me of Jasmine sneaking off into the Agrabah and learning how to actually think of her, because she sees a play of her coming the next heir to the throne, and how the subjects think that now that she has a little brother, because she had, since her dad remarried, and now she has two little brothers. One of them should be next in line, but so far her dad is not named somebody else heir. She still is, even now in the show, still so far. And she almost does lose her inheritance after she kisses her uncle. I mean, her uncle she tries to do it with her uncle, but her uncle doesn't. Her uncle like gets it off of her, and then one of the people in the pleasure houses go, because it's in a pleasure house, goes and tells the king hand, and he tries to rat the princess out, so his grandson would get the come king instead of her coming queen. And the king saw right through what he was doing and made him no longer be hand. Well, his daughter stays there, and he warns her daughter that you have to make your son be king, otherwise Rosella's gonna get hurt. I know I'm probably saying her name wrong. Sorry if I am. But probably gonna get killed. So they make her marry her cousin, whose mom was supposed to become queen at the beginning of the show, but yeah, because she was the only one left in the line, somebody else got the line to be king. So yeah, and that's who King is now. And I thought during the end of I think episode right before it got a different actress around like episode 6, I thought the king was gonna die because he was like coughing up blood and stuff like that, but I guess not, because the next episode he's still alive, and the princess got married. We saw them get married, and but she had a kid with one of the knights, and so one of the knights' son is hers, the firstborn. That makes her firstborn a bastard. And later on, they do find out about because the knight ends up getting sent off because it gets found out that his son, that they did it together before that the princess got married. So, and the new king's hand tries to disinherit his part, because it's found out that his son was the one that did it. But no, the king won't let it happen because it wasn't his fault. So because he tried to kill another knight that was like goading him, because he was training. It was his job to train Aragon. Aragon? No, that sounds like Aragon. the son's firstborn, and they're fighting each other. The two princesses, the two prince. So yeah, and everybody in this one has dragons. I think except for one, except for like the second youngest prince. And they're trying to give him a pig. So yeah, do I like this one so far? I don't know. Rosaria reminds me of a lot of Arya. Because the fact that she wants to... I know you probably think of this reminder for her descendant mother dragons, but no, she kind of reminds me of Arya. Because the fact that she wants to not have any of them... She doesn't want any of this. She wants to be next in line, but she also doesn't want to be bound to her fate like Arya was. So far, I like the princess in this one a lot better than any other one of them that were princess, even more than Salsa. So, so Damien's new wife, he killed his first wife because, like, to show that he didn't want her, and he wanted to choose, and he was mad at the fact that he was not able to take away his niece's spot because she was able to come be married to somebody else. So yeah, and so after she ends up marrying someone younger than her. He ends up marrying someone younger than her, and they have almost 3 kids, and she ends up being during her third birth, she's not able to have it. So she goes and has the dragon kill her. That was actually hers. So yeah, that's how the last one ended. So I finished watching episode 7 and episode 8. I've not watched 9 or 10 yet. So yeah, another at least 6 years jump during this. I know, yeah, during like episode 2 and episode 3, Damon stopped a war happening had to do with crabs, which is weird. We go from dragons to crabs. So, yep. But during episode 7 and episode 8, we had the funeral of Damon's first wife, and that his nephew Armin, I think is Eggard and Armored. I think that the 2 princesses that are the second queen's kids, and one is a drunk, and the other one wants to have his own dragon, which he gets. He gets to have his cousin's dragon after she dies, but he kind of steals it, and they thought her kids thought one of them was going to inherit it. So when he came back from riding it, his nephews and his 2 cousins attacked him and took away it, and one of his nephews scratched out his eye because he called them a bastard, and so his mom, the queen, wanted to take one of their eyes, but the princess Rhea stops them from. Hopefully, I can say her name right one day. Stops them from taking it, and she ends up getting a cut on her arm. So she got stitches. So yeah, and they tried to the next episode, after a couple of years passed, like 6 years, and after she marries her uncle and her first husband, he arranged for her husband to get killed. So, and get burned pretty much, and they get married, and then they have at least 2 kids together. And they come back to like to see her father, who probably is dead now at end of episode 8, because how badly he looks. Like he has no hair during this part, and missing one eye and a hole in his face. So and I don't know how even that even happened. Did he do that? Make sure that happened to like make his queen not get want to take her nephew's eyes. I know they're not. She's not related to them, but yeah. And so yeah, and the king's hands back, being her dad's back to being hand the king because of what happened with the last hand's king, leaving because of what his son did. So, yep. So he's back, and he still wants to try to get Agard to be king. So, yeah. And then they have a fight right after they have the 2 cousins marrying nephews. Like, I thought that Cersei and Jaime was bad. This whole entire season is full incest. Like, man. I don't know. I do like Game of Thrones better than this. I mean, it's a good show because it is very dramatical, but so far I think I like Game of Thrones better than this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like this one because we get to see a lot more dragons in this. So yeah. But I don't know, I'll go and find out if the king is actually dead this time. Alright, I finished watching episode 9 and 10 now, and yep, the king passed away, and now they have to decide who is going to be the next ruler of Westeros. And a civil war happens, and the beginning of the Dancing Dragons is about to begin. Who will win? Ario or Rosaria? Who will win? Or Daemon? So, well, both of them are both. If Raria, Daemon wins since they are married. So, they have to go and find Argo first, because Argo is, I guess, went into town after around the time his grandpa died, not knowing that his grandpa died, not knowing his dad died, and ends up being kidnapped and like using as a bargaining chip in order to like stop kids from fighting, because a bunch of kids in the town is like fighting. So yeah, and they end up, he's on the crown, and so they have to go and find out what to do with the ones that are, because the ones who are on Argo's side is Drago's side is green, and ones are on Zelia side are the black. So, and the queen and the princess, was never meant to be queen, leaves after she grabs her dragon after being locked in her room. But the queen Eris tells her that you can keep your port. Now you bend your knee to the king, but she doesn't want to do it because what they just did to her. Great way to get her to listen. Lock her in a room. Everybody loves being locked into your room. Don't you guys love being locked in your room? No, you don't. So yeah, after one of the knights helps her get out of there, she gets her dragon, and goes to Rosalia. And Daemon, she tells what happened to her father, that he died, and that Arga got to be is now the new king, and the hand of the king goes to tell them, and poor Zelia had to give birth, and the baby died because she was gave birth too early probably, and so she miscarried, and she basically tore it out of her body herself. Poor girl, she didn't want any help at all. So, and she sends her two sons, Luke and Dragon, and Jaron, Jairus, to go and tell everybody on their side, like the Starks and the other houses. So Ned's ancestor, but I don't remember. I don't think he goes to Stark. He goes to goes to one of the other houses because it's not the North, because it doesn't look cold enough. And it ends up with Ness, the one that lost his eye, Air Airman, on his dragon, and accidentally might be killing Luke, the middle one, and because the dragon bites his dragon, so we don't know if Luke is still alive. So that's how the episode ends, with Luke probably falling through the sky. So yeah, and probably dying. So I can't wait for next season, can you guys? And let's see who will win this dance of dragons. So like, favorite, and subscribe, and goodbye.